Hello everyone, this is Pedro from Pythonista with one more video. Today I'm gonna teach you how to do a slow changing dimension type 2 using delta tables in Microsoft Fabric. So once I spoke with a friend that's a data engineer and I asked him, so when do you know when someone has become a data engineer? And he said to me, if that person can do a slow change dimension type 2, so that person is a data engineer. So that's exactly what I'm going to teach you now. So if you don't know what size slow change dimension is, it's a table where you track the versions of a dimension table by adding new columns. Just an example here, I'm going to track supplier changes, and then every time that I have a new version of that record, I add a new row to my slow change dimension as it exemplifies here. I'm going to use Delta Lake, which is an open source project that enable building lakehouse architecture on top of data lakes. So it provides asset transactions and scalable metadata and unified streaming and match. So if you want to know more, you just go to Delta Lake website, which is delta.io, and the docs is docs.delta.io. All right, so here's a notebook I've already started. It's a running session. So first I'm gonna export some libraries, and then I can save this notebook in my Git repository, which I'm gonna to put in a click in the descriptions below. So let's run this first cell. So I have a lake house here with nothing, so just for this example, and then I'm going to first create a source table, which is just a person records table, a fictitious one. So I'm going to create first two records to start with two names, like date of birth, town, and updated at, which are going to tell me when that record was updated. So in a way that every time that I run my slow change dimension function, I just bring the records that last changed from the last time I query my source table. So let's run that. So that's going to create a new table here called names. Let's refresh this. And then if I go to my SQL endpoint, there's the names table. And then it's going to be only two records. Now let's just create an empty table. That's going to be my sync table or my delta table that are going to receive or track the changes. Let's run that. That's going to be an empty table. There we go. And then if I go on my SQL endpoint, it's going to be empty. So just as you wanted to follow, I'm going to also put in the description the example that I got from here. I just modify a little bit. So that's the Python example. The only modification that I've done, it's on the next function, which I create a function. Instead of like checking every single column that changed, I just create for every record a hash key that make that record unique. And then whenever there is an incoming new record, I just compare if those hash keys are different, which means that that's a new version of that record. So what it does, it loops through all the columns, casts those columns as string, and then concatenate everyone and create a hash key, and then at the end just return the original columns and the hash key, obviously. And then finally, the main function of the whole creation of the SCD Type 2. It takes two arguments, it updates the F, which is the incoming changes of the source table, and the sync table, which is the table that I'm going to record the changes. So the first step here is I'm going to first check from the incoming records, was that record already inserted some version? And then what I do, I save those in this data frame called change records. And then I'm just gonna display here on the terminal so you can see why we process. And then lastly, create a new data frame called stage updates, which is going to be a union of the change update records, which is coming from the updates table here that I alias as updates. And then everything that's new. And the new records can be either a new version or a completely new record. With that, I can do the merge statement. So before that, I add a new column called updated at, so I can track exactly when that new record was added to the SCD Type 2, which I do here. I just add that column. And finally, I use a merge statement that's going to merge into SD2, which is this table here. So if you see that table you've seen already, it's empty. And then the first condition that I'm going to check is first, if there is the match in the ID, the name ID key and the merge key, I'm going to then change those records or update those records to the current version. Sorry, first I need the condition to see is that a current version, and then the hash key is different. And then I'm going to set the current to false because that's no longer the latest version. And then I say this record is valid to that date, which is going to be the date that the record was updated. And finally, everything that does not match the merge key, I'm going to insert that record, and the to date are going to be null. The updated at is when that record was updated, which is this date here. And then everything else is just going to be the value from the incoming table. All right, let's run that. So with that, I can do the merge now. First, I load source and sync table. And then I filter the source table from an arbitrary watermark. And then I'm going to save the new watermark to the max update at of that table. And I'm just going to display the data frame here, which you've already seen. The only difference is that now I have a column called hash key. So that's the original table. Yeah. Now I can run the merge. So I'm going to put update df as the source, the sync as the SCD Type 2 table, and then I run that. So there is no, for change records, there's nothing because it doesn't make sense because it's an empty table. But I have new columns to add, sorry, new rows to add, which are those two records. And then if I can check now the SCD Type 2, so I've got two records, and they are records that are current, and the to date is indefinite. So that's how you do it, but let's keep on the example. Let's change this record here. This person here, name ID 1. Let's change the town that they live, and obviously the updated at to right now. And let's display the before and after. So you can see that Pedro now, originally from Adelaide, now moved to Sao Paulo. And I'm gonna add two new records, IDs 3 and 4, just to show brand new records, how it behaves. So if I go back here on my endpoint, that should be 4 records. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's load again the source table, filter from the latest watermark, which was the last update, and then display. That should return only 3 records, which is the change that I've done with record ID number 1. and the inserts for record 3 and 4. So those are the 3 records. That's going to be the input for the merge. And then I'm going to merge. And the final table should have 2 records, 3, 4, 5 records, if I'm correct. So let's do that. So now there is a changing record, and then 4 new records that are going to be inserted. Let's see. So now I have the 5 records here. I have the 2 versions of this record, where this version here is expired, or there is a final date, and then that's no longer current, and that's the new record. And then this number 2 hasn't changed, and then 3 and 4 were added from this timestamp here. Alright, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please put on the comment below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, click the bell, and like the video. Thanks for watching.